Oh my gosh. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Give me one sec. This hair is like, I don't know if it's the headphones. It makes the hair go weird in the back. Christy, thank you for renewing your membership, love. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a great day. That's going to bug me. Hope everybody's having a great day. Let me shout out all the members. I see women in the chat. Chico, Crafty Kid. Who else? Hold up, y'all. Why am I not more prepared? Everybody can hear me? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. Peekaboo, I see in the chat. Who else? Chico, don't look back. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for being here. Liz is in the chat. Crafty Kid is in the chat. Who else? I've got words and Shauna B. Welcome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. We got to talk. You can hear me. Thank you, Ashley, for saying you can hear me. Beautiful messy ball. Thank you, love, for being here. Oh, I love the red lipstick on you, by the way, love. Thank you. It's all. I'm ready to cut it off. Chop the mother effer off, because it drives me crazy sometimes. You caught me by accident. Well, I love the accidents. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, who else do I have in the chat? Hey, Aaron, all the beautiful members and subscribers, thank you for being here. Yes, everybody come through. All right, let me give people some time to get in here. So, as you guys can see, we're not going live as often, and we're doing a lot of uploads, which has been great because it has allowed me to, do a little bit more content, but also like cut my time a little bit. And it's my schedule is a little bit crazy right now. So, but hopefully I'll be able to do more lives later on. I just can't do them right now because I got to figure it out first. Hey, Vic. SW, welcome, Gypsy Lola. All right, let's get into it. We're going to get into it right now. So, I did a little poll and I said, what you guys want to talk about? Are we going to talk about Danny Masterson and the supporters or the Ruby Frankie stuff? Because there's been a lot of updates with Ruby Frankie. And we have to get into it. We have to get into the Ruby Frankie thing. Bonnie did a video yesterday on her YouTube channel. Okay. And it was a very short, maybe under 10-minute video. It was the you don't blame me, you blame Kevin. Take it to Kevin. It was the blame it on the rain. It was fallen and fallen. Blame it on the stars. They couldn't stop shining at night. It was that kind of a blame it somewhere else. Now, I personally have said, I feel like a lot of these adults, and she's included, are responsible for a lot of what has happened here with these children. Um, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not saying this is Bible that y'all got to believe what I have to say, but let's do some review on her video. This was the live that she did. It was like a video that she did on her channel. And she had a lot to say, and I do feel some type of way. I feel like, this was something that they've been holding back for a while. I got the sense of that. That's what we picked up from, just at least from the time that she put this up. But I don't know. I mean, let's commentate. Let's listen. So Bonnie, for those that don't know, this is Ruby Frank's sister. And Bonnie had done a statement shortly after Ruby Frank's arrest that basically said something to the effect of, "Oh my God, it was a long time coming. We've been working on this for so many years," or something like that, but we couldn't really talk about it, or we couldn't really act upon it. It was very much like we knew what was going on, but we couldn't say anything. And we were concerned for our nieces and nephews, but we couldn't say anything. But legally, we were doing something. It was something like that. And so then she deletes that video that Bonnie did. I think it was like on IG. She deletes it when the arrest comes out. And now she does this. And it's everywhere. At least she hasn't deleted this one. Let me know your thoughts.
Impossible video to make. I know that my words will be used against me. I also know that my words may help people understand me a little. I can only speak for myself, and I will only be speaking for myself, other than the judge has asked us not to speak on certain topics that I will not be touching on. What my family and
Mm.
I have gone through the last couple of weeks is the worst thing that has ever happened.
In my opinion, tell me, Vic, what is your opinion? We welcome opinions. We all have them. We all have an opinion. I'm just saying. Wim, shout out to Wim. What did Wim say? What is everybody's opinion? Why make this video? I'm just kind of curious. You didn't say anything because y'all were enjoying the revenue from YouTube. And now, this is what gets to me. It's like now Kevin's attorney. We can't get into this side of the questioning because this is a private matter. It wasn't private when the discipline of these children was being monetized all over. It wasn't private then. It wasn't private when they were, talking about the kinds of punishments that they were doing. It wasn't private then. It's private now that we got an arrest. That's when it's private. It's private because now you got to mind your business, but you didn't have to mind your business before when you would click, the button and hit the like button for all you supporters. And now they're saying we got to honor the judge, which is fine. You should honor the judge's order. If they told you to shut up, they told you shut up. Although I'm surprised, like why do another video at this point? I don't know. I wonder if her parents went away on the mission to get away from the chaos. You don't believe this lady, Emily? Emily's like, listen, I don't believe her. It is an awkward video. And the worst thing, unless you were one of the kids. And let me tell you something. When I heard her speak here, it was me, me, and me. And it's all about me. And what about me? And what about my feelings? And what about me? Over there, but me too. This is what I got from this 9-minute video.
To us, it is, I spent the first week in complete shock where I felt my body and my mind and my emotions were completely paralyzed because of the just absolute shock
Mm.
of all of this. The more I learn, my feelings are turning more to anger. I am mad. I am mad at what has happened. I am beyond disgusted, and I feel like it makes me tremble. It makes me tremble because it is unheard of. It is truly, it's truly unbelievable.
What is? What is unheard of? What is unbelievable? Right. B Tim's like, shocker. The level of B10 petty is like awesome. Stop. Look, I, I sympathize to a certain degree, but then I'm like, let me drink my soda pop and shut up because I don't really want to say what I'm thinking. She's upset. She's mad now. Why is you mad? Why were you mad? Why were you mad? You know what is so sad to me? I was thinking about this the other day, and I feel bad about thinking about this, but I'm gonna say what I was thinking. And typically, when I feel bad about thinking about something, I don't typically say it out loud, but I'm gonna say it this. I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Thank God that one of those kids did not die. Thank God that one of those kids did not die. Because if that had happened, then all of this would have been just like, wow. Now, of course, now we have these kids that are okay, right? They're in the custody, I believe, still of the state. They're away from the people that were perpetrating on them for many, many years. But thank God that these kids survived. I hate to say it that way because part of me is like, damn, like a parent is supposed to protect you, right? Is there discipline? Absolutely. Everybody should be disciplining their kids. You should. And I don't have to tell somebody how to do it. Like that's not my job, right? Um, but what the fuck were they thinking? What the fuck were all of these adults involved thinking? That's kind of where my thought is. So for me, I sit here and yeah, I'm like cynical and sarcastic about it, but come on now. I'm just not buying the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking it. I'm not making it. I'm not because y'all knew this shit was going on and you remain quiet. And they have the biggest, each individual of these people have the biggest platform to have spoken out and said, guys, I want to deal with this privately, but I can't because I'm concerned for the safety of my nieces and nephews. I'm going to publicly say this. It is my understanding and my belief that my sister is abusing her children or that Connections is doing it. Very simple. And yes, we don't want to target on her back. I get that, but that's speaking loudly. It really is. And she could have said, I'm going to do everything I can in my power privately to fight this. You were silent, girl. You were. So now you're mad. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is thank God that none of these kids died while they were there. Thank God. They should look at Kathy Griffin as an example. She tried to put the beat Tim from the other video, Kathy Griffin. I'm saying she put her own blood behind jails, right? She tried to. She wrote about it. She said, I mean, whether you like Kathy Griffin is either you like her or you don't. To each his own. She's a whole different mess. But shout out to her. But she spoke and she said, no, like y- you speak up. I've been asked to do letters, character witness letters, and I've declined them. And this is family that I've declined because I love them, but I don't love the crime that they've committed. And this is the same example. She's in that same spot where she's right here. And she had a choice to make. And now she's mad. She's mad. She says, I honestly think that they have been estranged from the Franke family, but I don't think this video was a good idea at all. She should have said something about the kids. Gotcha, Stacy. Thank you. My goodness, you are so gorgeous with that hat, by the way. SW, preach it, Rabbit. Spot on. Oh, SW, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to you. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. Welcome, welcome, Bo. Loves biochemistry. Welcome, love. All right. Rabbits don't like Kool-Aids. We don't. I don't drink Kool-Aid. She never said anything about the kids, right? Never, ever, ever. A family member who hasn't spoken to Ruby since she was a kid was in law and crime and said there was a family history of abuse. She was anonymous and in silhouette. Oh, really? Wow. Let's keep watching.
Something that I pride myself on, something that I enjoy doing is being transparent. And I cannot be fully transparent
Mm,
with certain aspects of this. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand how the system works.
that's fine. That's fine. She can't be transparent. Then why the fuck do this video in the first place? You weren't transparent before. You can't be transparent now. Now I understand because the judicial system is involved. So why do this video? Why now? Brianna says she did do what she could legally behind the scenes. She could have. And what was that? What did she do legally behind the scenes? I'm just kind of curious because I keep hearing that like phrase. She did something legally behind the scenes. What does that mean? What did she do? Did she call CPS? Did she call her friend? And Brianna, I'm just pointing you out because you put that comment there. Shout out to you. But I am kind of curious. What does it mean to actually do something legally behind the scenes? Just curious. Also, she's allowed to be upset when she is being attacked on the internet when she is not the one who abuses it. No, Brianna, and I get that. She's allowed to be upset. We're just giving commentary to this. I personally feel like she's also at fault here. Um, Even though she's trying to shift blame here, personally, I do feel like she's at fault. Now, that being said, please do not harass this woman. Y'all leave her alone. I'm just giving commentary to this situation. That is how I feel. I don't. I think this is a lot of self-preservation. I'm just saying, well, she found enough composure to do her makeup with the Lord. See, Saint, stop. The petty, the petty. I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not buying it from her, and I'm not buying it from Kevin, and I'm not buying it from any of the other sisters. Shoot, the oldest daughter was the one that was doing the most. In my opinion, I think she probably wears, if there's a medal to be had in this situation for speaking up, would be the oldest daughter. That's how I feel. But for her, I don't feel the same way. That's all. That's my thought. And I'm going to question you guys again. What does it mean to do things behind the scenes? Legally behind, what does she mean by that? I'm asking for myself, not for my friend. What does it mean when somebody says I'm doing things behind the scenes legally? What does that mean? I don't know. Just a question.
The first thing that I want to say is that we have kept quiet for 3 years on the topic of our sister Ruby
They did.
and Jody and Kevin and connections. That is what we have stayed quiet about. We did not know what they were doing because, like we said, we were cut off. We did not have access to anyone. My thoughts towards Ruby and Jody and Kevin and connections is that it was all bullcrap. It was it was complete indoctrination of this thing that they created.
So she couldn't say that 3 years ago, but she's saying it now. She couldn't say that 3 years ago, but she's saying it now. She said we kept quiet. Why did they get cut off, or why did they cut off? Because of the indoctrination to connections. You couldn't say that 3 years ago. See, that would have been a red flag, I think, for everybody. Like, damn, what the hell's going on? What indoctrination is she talking about? That's what I want to know. This is when I ask you guys, what does it mean to do things behind the scenes? That's what, Petty, that's a great question. That's what I thought. But she said there was an indoctrination, and she knew this, and she thought it was bullcrap. So when you thought it was bullcrap, did she speak about it when she thought it was, when she felt like this is an indoctrination? What about Kevin? Not just Bonnie, yo. Bonnie's one person, but Kevin, I think, holds a bigger weight being the father of those children. And some of you guys were in the comments, Rabbit. The father didn't know they were separated. Okay. So what responsibility does he carry? So he was allowed to just move away and not like have an actual participation in his child's life? Not a phone call? Only call? I mean, who the fuck? Okay, let me stop. In that relationship, clearly it's just weird to me. So Jody, we're making her, which Jody bears a lot of fault, but she's the one that holds the cards not only for various relationships, but for that relationship. And she's going to tell that man to move out. And she's going to tell that man what's going on and what's the deal and to leave your kids right there. That's what Jody does. When did Jody become God? And not only that, when did everybody else say, well, damn, they're going to go away and there's an indoctrination and we're just going to let the indoctrination happen? Why not speak on it? And where are the kids now? Why is the hubby out free? What the fuck are the women doing in jail acting sick at the same time? I heard. I heard. I heard. Yeah, and okay. Shari and aunts called CPS and the cops, and CPS and cops failed. You know what, Brianna? And that's what I heard. And I definitely also feel like CPS is at fault here. Absolutely. They are. So when I shouted out the neighbors, I said, damn, there's some good ass neighbors right there that really gave a crap about what was going on and that were paying attention. And people were in the comments and they were saying, Rabbit, I'm not believing the neighbor's story. Okay. Well, the neighbor was the one that called the 911 call. The neighbor was the one recorded on that 911 call saying, yeah, this is what this has been a pattern. That was captured. The neighbor was the one that broke down, having to give the kid a banana so he can eat it while he scarfed it down. CPS dropped the ball. I completely agree with you on that one. But you know what? You can only blame CPS and the cops for so long. I'm going to blame all of the adults. I'm just saying. Because it takes a village, right? That comes from somewhere. That Proverbs is from somewhere. It takes a village to what? Raise a child? They're part of that village. As much of a distance that there had been there, they're part of that village. Kevin, hell, he made the village. My point being is this: you can't just focus and say it's one person and what. It is important to ask questions. They were okay monetizing and continuing to act like everything's cool while the indoctrination was happening with these kids 3 years ago, and they knew it. They were cool with that. And they monetized, they went about their business. They didn't want to have anything to do with it, but they wanted to continue to family blog. What the hell did you think was going to happen? This was like a shaken, what is it? A soda with the pressure cap ready to pop. It was ready to pop. It's all too convenient, definitely. And they are lucky. They are lucky that these kids are alive. Okay? Because then we start finding out, well, who's in charge of whose death here? Who failed these kids? They're lucky that these kids are alive. All of them.
I don't agree with how extreme they are on everything. I knew they were weird. I knew that they were off. Those are the things that we kept quiet about because what was I going to say? What was I going to do? I was not going to come out and publicly say that I don't like my sister and I don't like what she's doing. And
No one is expecting her. Nobody was expecting her to say, I don't like my sister and I don't like, or that she's weird. But she knew that something was off. And that is the biggest point that I'm trying to make here. This isn't about attacking her. By no means, please do not attack this woman. They are going through enough, right? But at some point, it can't just be the bloggers calling people out. The internet was calling them out too. But you sat there too, and that's your blood. Mm, I don't know who was taking parenting advice from someone who used basic life necessities as a form of punishment. Thank you. You couldn't, right? Eating, thinking, feeling. You guys heard Jesse Hildebrandt, her interview. Very similar to duct tape, all this stuff, to what was going on with her, with what happened with Russell over there. No food, no bed. Repent from your sins. You're the bad guy. Imagine having that ingrained as a child every day. And then they're defending their perpetrators. It's my fault. It's my fault that I'm hungry. It's my fault that I had to jump out of the window to go get some help. It's my fault. Sure, they were, excommunicated from each other. Sure, maybe sister stopped talking to her. Sure. But at some point, it never really dawned on them that maybe something was up, that this was scary, that this could be life and death, that these kids were malnourished. I'm just saying. Also, she's trying to get people to understand that the only thing she could have done is kidnap the kids, and that is illegal. And she would have been arrested, and then what? That's the only thing she could have done. She couldn't have spoken out on her platform about the indoctrination that her sister was doing. I respectfully disagree with you. That I'm just saying. I'm saying.
I think she's weird. That is what we kept quiet about.
Mm.
It wasn't until about a year ago when we were able to reconnect with Sherry. Again, we kept that quiet. We never came out and said anything. You guys saw us together, and those were little glimpses when Sherry was ready to allow us to show those glimpses with her permission. And it was then that we were learning slowly bits and pieces of, of more. And that's where the part of behind the scenes, we did everything that we could. We did everything legally that we could do. And
What
for
does that
those
mean?
that were saying that they'd go in and bust down doors and do
What does that mean? What I'm sorry. Can somebody ask this lady the question? What does it mean to do everything legally that you could? I'm not talking about going and arrest or you know, kidnapping the kids. That's not what I'm saying at all. What does it mean? If the girl, let me tell you something. If Ruby Frankie and Jody's bread was social media or their connections business, if that's what I go after the bread, I'm gonna say, listen, this is what's the deal with my sister. I love my sister, but she has this indoctrination thing going on with connections, and Jody has this parenting style that involves duct tape and punishment of basic life necessities for these kids. I'm very concerned. Yes, I am using my social media platform to put this out here. I don't know what else to do legally, but at the very least you got eyes on these people, and now you sitting here trying to defend yourself. You'd be busting down doors if my niece is being held against her will. I do not care. I'd be the most annoying person to CPS and local law enforcement that if that was my sister. There's emergency custody. Why do maybe that's what she means, shopaholic, that they did everything that they could legally. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm just saying. In what works should a child in what world should a child be bound with duct tape? I think that's what you mean. It's crazy, right? Because it's the duct tape part, but who normalizes any of that? It's the normalization of that like kills me. Like who normalizes a child going hungry? Who normalizes telling a child that, their punishment is not to eat?
whatever it took to end up in jail, because from jail I can't do anything.
Mm.
So I still stand by what I said, is that I did everything that I could with the knowledge that I had and within the legal rights to Ruby and Kevin.
You can't go to jail for speaking out on social media. Can you be arrested? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can understand, you can be sued, defamation, yada yada yada. But can you go to jail for speaking out on social media about your concerns? I'm just saying, can you? Let me know. Can you be like I could be wrong. Listen, I'm not the 411 of all things true crime. Really, I'm not. But last time I checked, you can't go to jail for speaking out on social media. A lot of people do it. Some of the shit that people say is not always true, right? People right, wrong, or indifferent. Correct? She had a platform. But you know what was also the concern? Was this sponsors, the name, association. I'm sorry. I'm just not letting this girl off the hook.
The one person that could have done something within his legal right was Kevin. We had zero contact with him. It was Kevin's job to check in on things, and he did not.
And I agree with her. And that's why when you guys said rabbit, they were separated, they were divorced. This was bullshit. Was it a legal separation? No. They were just I don't think it was, at least they were just living with I mean there was no like visitation arrangement. He could have gone down that house. It doesn't matter if it's Jody's house. Those are his kids. He could have gone to the other house. That was, where they were living at. Those are his kids. You don't want to see me, wife? Cool. I want to see my children. How are my children doing? Since when does this is the part that I don't get. And I was having a conversation with somebody and I said, I don't get it. Like, okay, say that the relationship doesn't work or the marriage doesn't work for however many years and you have children together. Um, a good husband or a good, not say, let's just say a good father, in my opinion, would give a shit about the fact that, all right, we didn't work, you and I didn't work, cool, but I'm still stuck with you for the next 18 years. And it is my duty to make sure that while you and I didn't work, and they still got an education, they still got to eat, they still got to live, they still have my last name. I'm going to make sure that they're okay, even if it means that have a phone call every day, a FaceTime, a whatever Zoom shit thing. That's what a good father does. He professed to love his children, and how blessed he was to have had a platform, not to be, going to work every day as a, like other fathers do, so he's able to really engage with them. That was part of the vlogging part, right? That he was actually there to connect one to one with his kids. That's my understanding. So, sir, you neglected your children as well by not being there and checking on them, making sure that they're eating, and if they look malnourished, I don't know, figuring out what to do about the situation. Just saying. Well, Kevin is a child abuser too. He wasn't ever concerned enough to do anything to take space to save his marriage. And I think part of that, this is just my assessment, because people have been saying that Jody played a part in that because she tends to play in parts of marriage. There was an interview that I was watching on, I can't remember what channel because there's everybody speaking on this. There was an interview where a guy was taking marriage counseling from Jody, and they were making him feel some type of way about having some type of sexualized feeling, and pornography is bad and all. And everybody's got a different, listen, y'all do your shit. I am not I'm not a marriage counselor, but she was doing the most to villainize the husband. And as a therapist, that's when, like, red flags, you stepping out of your scope from that role to make these two people figure it out. Like, people like that, we don't need therapists like that. We don't need mental health professionals like that. So I don't know what exactly Jody played a part in terms of making Kevin feel like he can't be a proactive part of this family, because the last time I checked, the marriage is of two, not of three. So I'm kind of curious to know about that. I'm side eyeing a lot of that, but I'm also not buying it, because at the end of the day, who the fuck, like, who's got the huevos out of this relationship? And for those that don't know Spanish, the huevos means the balls. Who's got the cojones here? At some point, these two, something had to give. Like, who tells who what? You gonna leave this house? Okay, great. Well, we gonna go to court. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out the visitation. Who's got the huevos in this relationship? And I just busted out my Spanish, but it's the truth. Sometimes the women have the huevos, and sometimes the men have the huevos. But somebody gotta have some huevos in here. It's the truth. My daughter does not allow visitation to her ex. He is a blackout drunk who beats his kid. Maybe that is the reason. Hit the light. Very true. But you know what? Your daughter has the huevos, meaning she's got the balls to step it up and say, this is not going to happen that way. But you mean to tell me, does Kevin have the huevos? Because the huevos, like, you would think that he would have been a little bit more proactive to the situation. And that's the part that I don't understand, that as much as Randy the lawyer, Kevin's attorney, can circle his, argument of, well, that is a really private situation, and we really don't want to get into this, but it's really, really private. And, let's move on. And this is about the safety of the kids and the privacy of these children, because they're going to have to live with this. No, sir, they put their stuff on social media. That's what they did. So this is why I asked, who has the huevos in this relationship? The balls, the cojones. Who had it? Why was this man absent for however long? That I do, and I've been saying that before. That I do give Bonnie. That I do give Bonnie, because she's right on the money on that one. And what? Thank you. What, 3 and Me. Why was Kevin told to leave? And who the hell told him to leave? The wife? And who did what to the child that is being accused of essaying others? Thank you. By the mother. Right. And why? Let me tell you something. When I heard that in the court hearing, right, that was going on, and she sat up there and blamed anyone, and Kevin didn't get up and say, Your Honor, I'm sorry. This is like I don't want to traumatize put my son's situation out on blast. That is not the intent here. But he sat there and allowed it. The judge had to redirect this. Who said that was okay? Who allowed that? Where did the child learn this behavior? Who did? Yeah, the pornography. And what is pornography? Just it's like these meanings, because I don't know what is a Victoria's Secret catalog pornography. Is if I stroll to the, I mean, a lot of the shit that if you think about it, can be interpreted as pornography, depending on your upbringing, your religious beliefs, right? Is a girl showing her cleavage pornography? Everybody has a different interpretation. Aesop, welcome. She's only saying that as a retaliation for him to get help. So she's over here saying, Kevin, Kevin, Kevin.
So when I say that Ruby and Kevin and Jody and connections have been destroying our lives offline for the last 3 years, that is exactly what they've been doing, causing turmoil within our family. We would talk in circles because nothing made sense.
So did they have any more did they say, fuck it, we're not talking to Kevin anymore? Is that what they said? What they do? What happened here? The brown paper bag porn? you know, not the brown paper bag porn. Stop. Oh my God. Right, Saint Hudson, you ain't right here. How many mandated reporters did these kids come across in the mental health field outside of that? Makes you wonder. Legit question. None of the family thought uh were kids suitable for were suitable for the kids to stay. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think CP, and I'm glad CPS has not ordered them to stay with both, because like if I and I'm just going to give my 2 cents, all right? Um they need a family history. They need a really good assessment. I would say that Kevin needs one for sure. A parenting assessment, they definitely need one. Kevin needs it for sure, because you've been absent out of your kids' lives. Okay, that he definitely needs it. And what disciplines are you now going to be applying, given that now this has resulted in abuse, and God knows what else was going on before that? It was abuse all along. That's the problem. Like, there was always abuse. We just happen to have a criminal charge now, which further pushes the envelope to that. That supports any CPS investigation in conjunction with the DA's office. Oh, yeah. This is not going to be a one and done here. It's not. I don't know if these kids are suitable for any of these, especially if they're on social media. This lady, anybody. I'm just saying. I question it all. I'm just saying. Yes, also she's not shifting blame onto Kevin. Kevin is to blame because he is the father, and he's still, well, that I blame Kevin. He still has custody. He knew what was happening and was part of the abusing the kids before he was kicked out. I don't know, girl. If the mom denies her kids lunch, would a teacher have to report that? Um, she could provide them lunch at school. I guess it just depends. It just depends. Rabbit, is her video monetized? I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I have premium, so I have no ads.
Nothing made sense of what they were saying, of what they were doing. And it was off the wall. We couldn't make sense of what they were doing and why. And this is where my anger comes in. Their actions have cast the worst light on
Me.
on other members of our family. And I have decided that I am no longer allowing them to have any control over what I do. I didn't post because I physically couldn't. I physically could not turn my camera on. I physically could not come up with a structured thought in my mind. I felt completely completely out of my mind. This has hurt every single person in our family, and watching it hurt my husband makes me mad. I have
Mm.
stood by Joel's side, building our home, and it sounds incredibly selfish to, given all the facts, be thinking of our house. But also, I have watched him put his heart and soul and every waking minute for the last couple of years on this project, and I will not allow Ruby and Kevin and Jody and Connections to take away one more thing. And
Who is I'm confused. Who is taking what away from her? If the public is asking questions, which I would assume is the case, right? Like the public is asking questions out of concern about the situation that's going on. Who is actually taking shit from her? Like I am confused. Is it because she's having to respond to the public because people are coming for her on the internet? I personally am not buying a lot of what she's saying. I'm not. This is not her best video. The first video wasn't her best video, and this one wasn't either. Right, so that's what I said. It's a me, or me, and me. Is it the fact that is it the scandal, the child abuse charge of her nieces and nephews? Now she's feeling the ripple effect of it, having known that there was an indoctrination going on before, and now there's a child abuse charge out of that. Is that what this is about? And now she says, I'm not going to allow Kevin or Ruby or Connections or everybody to take over. No, they're not. What are you talking about? She's feeling the heat from the fact that there's a child abuse charge, that there was a child with duct tape that is in relation to her, that she knew that there was an indoctrination and that she did things behind the scenes legally, whatever the hell that means. And it took the community to call CPS when this baby jumped out of a window for something to have had happen when they kind of knew something was up. Her, Kevin, and everybody else. Hmm.
so we wake up in the morning, we take our kids to school, and we come and we work on the house. And in the meantime and in between, we do everything that we can to be involved, but there is only so much that we're allowed to do. So you better believe that for my husband, we will push forward, we will move on. Not because it feels good in any way. It feels horrible. It feels horrible coming into the house and working on things and even thinking of anything else, all while every news outlet, every national news outlet, people coming out of the woodworks making claims that are just so beyond ridiculous that there is no comment. It is so stupid that there is no comment. 3 years ago, Ruby and Kevin cut our family off, and eventually they cut Kevin's family off as well. And I thought that was going to end my mom. She literally had a heart attack. She went into kidney failure. Her body was shutting down because it broke her. So you can only imagine what she is going through now, how we are all feeling now. And I'll only speak for myself, but Ruby and Kevin are not where my concern lies anymore. So it is difficult to have the blame put on us.
This isn't about Ruby or Kevin. This is about the children. Are the children at all in consideration here? The girl can move on. But you know why this she's having to do this video is because she knows that deep in the back of her mind, she's like, damn, I really did fuck up here. I should have spoken 3 years ago and maybe said something and my sister would have been mad at me. But damn. No, she's mentioning the adults here. Let the girl build your house. Let her do that. Do your thing, girl. Keep monetizing the videos and the mommy family vlogging thing that you do. That's what you do. I think it's a little bit of guilt. I do feel like she feels guilty. She just can't say that because Acknowledging guilt would be acknowledging fault, right? I would have just said that. I said, "Look, I fucked up. Like, but I'm not going to let what my sister and her husband did to her kids mess me up because it's messing me up right now. I fucked up. I did. I fucked up. I should have spoken out before, but I wanted to, but I didn't. I fucked up. I did. And I have so many things to focus on, such as the house and this and my nieces and nephews in the future. But I fucked up." She's trying to distance herself for sure. Exactly. Acknowledging that she's guilty or that she has guilt. Not that she's guilty, that she has guilt. Because sometimes we feel that. We're human, right? We're allowed to feel guilty about maybe there's areas that are like, fuck, I should have done this. I shouldn't have done it this way. But it's so humbling to see somebody actually admit, even if we don't acknowledge, like, as some of us may not necessarily see it as like there's a level of guilt in her part, but if she acknowledges it, I think it humanizes her a little bit more. That's how I feel. I feel like it seems it would humanize her a little bit to help her out, but it's not very easy to do. Rabbit can say it, but we can't type it. What you want me to say? And they're going to go quiet. Um, um, Nan B says, Bonnie, everybody feels a little bit different, Nan B, but she's, acknowledging your comment. I don't think Bonnie's responsible. The blame should be on the father. I think I don't know what exactly we're shifting blame to at this point. Personally, I think all of these adults are responsible. All of them. The father, the sister, everybody. This is how I see it. They had no problem monetizing any of this until they got caught, until all of this kind of happened, right? Imagine, let's just say this, imagine that the child didn't climb out of that window and actually died while at Jody's house or while at the house that they were at with duct tape and malnourishment. Imagine if that were to actually happen. Then what? Who are we going to be blaming? It would have been Jody's fault? Frankie's fault? Ruby's fault? I'm playing the movie in a little bit of a different sense. To me, all of them are to blame. Let's keep watching.
When these are not the actions of us. These are not the actions that we did. And I get people wanting to put blame somewhere. I do. They want to blame someone. There's only one person that could have helped, and he didn't. What he was doing all that time when him and Ruby were separated is beyond me. I will not let Ruby and Kevin and connections and Jody take one more thing away from me. So you better believe I will continue to post, because if that is what tiny control I have left, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take control and do what I feel. It doesn't feel good to not know what's ahead. That is not a comforting feeling. I'm not even trying to find comfort at this point. I am focused on putting one foot in front of the other, 1 hour at a time, not even a day.
How about those kids that are in the custody of the state right now? How about their comfort? See, this is why I said this only shows her to be I will, we will, my husband and I will, and we will, and I will not be silenced, and I will, and I, and me, and me. ASAP, I agree with you. Again, I say none of them use their platform. They could have used their platform to help their kids. They didn't want to speak about it publicly. They did everything behind the scenes. What the hell does that even mean? What does it mean to do things legally or behind the scene? What does that mean? Did you call CPS? What does that mean? Did you file something in the court? What does that mean? What does that mean? I want to do a comparison of all the CPS reports from the families towards the neighbors and see who actually was doing more action. What does that mean? What does it mean? Y'all tell me. Not just Bonnie, but Kevin too. All of them. What about the children's comfort? this I just say, listen, Linda.
At a time, 1 hour at a time. I am focusing on what I can control,
Mm-hmm.
which is the environment that I have for my children.
Yep.
And that is the only thing that gets me up and out of bed every day is my 4 children. So I will continue doing what I have always done,
Yeah.
which is putting my kids and Joel first and helping in any way that I possibly can outside of that.
Right.
I am not my sister. I am not my sister's mistakes. This feels like a
I am not my sister. I did not sleep with that woman. I don't know why that came to my head. Um, I don't know what to say. Um, it's bullshit. You need to listen. Well, girl, we gotta get. We need more members before I can get another emoji. Rabbit, you need to listen, Linda emoji. Listen, Linda. That's why I am not my sister, and I am not my sister's mistakes. I know. I'm like, I'm being too mean right now. I know. Let me stop. Because then y'all gonna message me. Rabbit, you are so Rabbit. Rabbit, how dare you? Rabbit, why? I gotta change my thumbnail to say me. And we'll put her face on it. Me. Um, that's what you're gonna say to me. Everybody's gonna say, but that's what I said. But she is not her sister. You guys leave her alone. I listen, Mars, but people are like, Rabbit, you're being so mean right now. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not. And I'm a realist. I'm not feeling it. You guys wanted me to review this, and I was like, okay, I'll review it. But it's not going to be a very good review because you guys are going to be mad in the comments, and that's okay. Shout out to you. You don't know her story. Sit. Done. I'm done. I cannot. She gets me mad too. I'm just saying. I no. Who told her she was her sister? I didn't tell her she was her sister. This is a good comment. Who's accusing her of being Ruby? She is not Ruby and she is not Kevin. You said, who's going to check me? All right, let me stop. All right, guys, I have to head out because I got to go to a baby bunny. Um, did I ever go over Julie's video? No, I didn't. I need to, though. People have been saying I need to go over Julie's video. I am getting there. Alyssa, you already know everybody's going to message me right now. Rabbit, what the hell? I'm sorry. But you wanted this is the rabbit uncut version of this. Like at this point, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you guys. She says I am not my sister. Okay, cool. Like this isn't what how are those kids doing? Did y'all call them? Did you check on them? Because you know the system isn't the foster care isn't the best place to be at. All right. So how are those kids doing? That's what I want to know. I don't care about you are not your sister or your sister's missing. All right then. How are the kids doing? How are they doing? Are they okay? Are you going to go see them and visit them and talk to them? That's what I don't care about self-preservation. I don't. How are the kids doing? It's bullshit. And listen, the house building. I don't know if they're going to build any rooms for those kids too because it would suck. That's just my thought. Anyways, guys. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I have to head out cuz I got to go tend to baby bunny, but it's going to be okay. That's my thought. You don't have to agree. I will see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great day. Let me see. Hold up. Let me just shout out a couple people. Christy, thank you for renewing. SW says, Preach Rabbit. Thank you so much for your 8 months membership. And SW gave me 2 super chats. Thank you so much, SW. Amber, thank you for becoming a member. You are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure that the members that you guys are checking the community tab, because that's where we have the link to the Discord, and you guys can join the Discord and have more conversations here with more Rabbit members. I will see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here because I got to go. All right. Rabbits out.